Claus Slutter is the artist who created the Well of Moses, formerly known as Lacroix. He came from Haarlem, Netherlands to Dijon, France to create this masterpiece for Philip the Bold, the Duke of Burgundy. This Carthusian monastery was founded by Philip the Bold in order to provide vast burials for the Dukes of Burgundy. Monks were also frequent visitors here to pray for the dukes, along with their families. If we take a closer look in the center of the courtyard, we can see where the Well of Moses was located. Before destruction of the well during the French Revolution, we can forecast the coming and death of Jesus through the Old and New Testament depicted by these three tiers of hierarchy: the prophets, angels, and the crucifixion scene that once used to be on top of the well. The bottom tier consists of 6 prophets of the Old Testament: Moses, David, Jeremiah, Zechariah, Daniel, and Isaiah. Slutter displayed these life-size figures in a hexagonal manner so as to guide the viewer all the way around the sculpture to make eye contact with the figures on every side. Slutter chose these arrangements purposely in order to move the viewer around the piece visually and direct attention of the viewer towards their faith through majestic and dominating presence of Christ and his prophets. Prophet holds significance for the foretelling and crucifixion of Jesus Christ by the scriptures they hold from the Old Testament. Zechariah's scripture reads, "So they weighed for my price 30 pieces of silver." Isaiah says, "He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter." Moses is holding the 10 Commandments. The next tier in the hierarchy are 6 angels, which are between each prophet on colonnades. Each angel is shown mourning with their wings fully extended around the well, creating a halo above prophets and underneath the crucifixion. Angels are a prominent piece in this sculpture because they are involved in many significant events in the Old Testament with Jesus' coming and death. The top of the hierarchy, which is the most important scene from the New Testament, is the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Some have argued that Mary Magdalene, Mary the Virgin, and John were all at the foot of the crucifixion scene. However, after much research, we find out that only Mary Magdalene is kneeling alone at the foot of the cross with Jesus. Mary Magdalene is a prominent individual in the New Testament. By having Mary Magdalene alone with Jesus at his death, gives a scene of isolation to the audience and expresses the sadness of this scene. Mary Magdalene was a woman who Jesus protected often and looked out for many times throughout the New Testament. What remains of the crucifixion is limited. We can look at the torso of Jesus and look deep into his face and see the emotions of pain and suffering. We can also look at the remains of Jesus' legs, which show red pigment, which is portraying Jesus' blood from the crucifixion. When looked up upon the cross, if the audience broke its gaze from the cross, they would meet eyes with the 6 weeping angels mourning for Jesus. Lastly, the eyes would come back down to the 6 life-size prophets, pointing to inscriptions of their visions foretold. With these expressions of ferocity, animation, passion, and intimidation, viewers were surely assisted in having a spiritual experience. Although today the cross is no longer attached to the fountain, the story told within each tier of hierarchy is able to still live on through the Old and New Testament.